I didn't think this kid had it in it. What was that?
The first time I ever watched I Was a Teenage Zombie, we watched that scene. I was 5 years old. I was watching it with my older brother and my cousin. They were both about 13 at the time. And after we finished watching that movie, my brother went to bed, and then my cousin proceeded to recreate that scene on my older brother, waking him up and freaking him out. A movie like this and an event like that happening to me at 5 years old was always going to stick with me. And this movie, I Was a Teenage Zombie, it's not a great movie. It's not a particularly good movie. Most people would consider it garbage, and it is, but it's great. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's low budget. It's filmed in New York and New Jersey in 1987. The guy who made it never really made any movies again. He, from all accounts, became a monk. I don't know if to atone for his sins or what, but I think he made his point with this movie. This movie is a sort of love letter to 1950s monster movies. You can take that from the title, I Was a Teenage Zombie. Plot of this movie is that a group of teens are looking to score some drugs. They run into a dubious pot dealer who sells them some bad weed. They go looking for revenge. Things get out of hand. They kill him and throw him in a radioactive river. The radiation brings him to life as a super strong undead zombie bent on revenge. And after killing a few of them, the rest of the teens decide to bring one of their buddies back to life the same way by throwing him in the river so that he can act as their bodyguard, thereby being the titular teenage zombie. The thing I like about this movie, it's a loving homage, but it's not a smart-ass sort of answer to it, like you find with Robert Rodriguez's Grindhouse throwbacks. There's always something, a level of being above the material while setting it up. Same thing with The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra, which is about the same type of movies, although that movie, I like that movie a lot. It doesn't really wallow in the feel of those 1950s cheapo movies like this one does, because like those movies, it is also poorly made. That's part of the fun of it. It's not a movie that's so poorly made that you have fun watching it because of that. It's just a movie where a bunch of people got together with very little money, decided to run with it, and did some crazy shit. People getting their faces ripped off, tongues ripped out. What this movie has is heart. It's a very sweet movie, especially the depiction of the love between the teenage zombie, whose name is Dan Wake, and his high school lover, whose name is Cindy Faithfull. And it has a lot of just weird touches that I really like the main villain is an undead drug dealer named Mussolini. There's a guy who freaks out about killing somebody and has this weird breakdown about going to hell, spending eternity in hell, until a friend of his reminds him that he's an atheist, and then he calms down. There's just a lot of strange touches like that. There's no way I can honestly recommend this movie to you. I only love it, I think, because of watching it when I was a 5-year-old with my older brother, with my cousin, Summer, the air conditioner. As a 5-year-old watching someone's face get ripped off is just the greatest thing. This movie does have a great soundtrack. It features contributions from Alex Chilton, the Violent Femmes, the Del Fuegos, the Fleshtones do the title song, I Was a Teenage Zombie. Actually, the reason I rented this movie when I was little, because it was my choice to rent it, the reason I rented this movie is because the display box that it came in, was huge. It was really bigger, much bigger than any other VHS case I'd ever seen. And I was convinced that meant that the VHS itself was bigger than all of the other VHSs. So I needed to test my theory, and the only way to do that was to rent it to see if when I got that VHS, it was too big to fit in our VCR. I'm an idiot. And I've always been an idiot. And I think that may be one of the reasons why I love this movie so much.
Forget me, alright?
Oh yeah, and it's been unavailable on DVD for years, but you know where you can watch it? You can watch it on Hulu through the Criterion Collection. That's right. This movie made it to the Criterion Collection. They're never going to release a DVD of it on Criterion, but it's on Criterion Hulu, and I think that's the funniest thing in the world. So, whatever. Check it out if you want to. I Was a Teenage Zombie. I love it.